Back to the Culture Call on Praise 93.3 with L. Spencer Smith. Our desire is to reach and empower the community by discussing a cross-section of relevant topics from various perspectives that are essential to its growth and interpersonal connections. Be sure to save our call-in number, 205-752-4800. Be sure to install the free Praise 93.3 app so you can send L. Spencer Smith a message or topic idea. Search for WTSK in your app store.
This is the world premiere.
Great morning, great morning, great morning, precious people. You know what time it is. That's right. For your favorite talk show, The Culture Call with yours truly, L. Spencer Smith, right here on Praise 93.3 FM, your inspiration station. It is indeed the place where Tuscaloosa meets the world. Absolutely. And for the next 2 hours, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., we're going to be talking a little bit about everything. You know how we do it. From society to sports, education to economics, from religion to relationships. And as always, we are here to create a safe space. That's right. A safe space to have empowering, provocative, and yes, sometimes even controversial conversations. And guess what? You can call in or chat it up with us as we learn together right here on The Culture Call. Number one. I want to send a special shout out to those of you who are listening to us for the very first time. Maybe you've heard about the talk show, and this is your first time having the ability to listen, and someone told you, hey, you need to check that guy out. You need to check that talk show out. It's thebomb.com. And they are absolutely correct. But I want to welcome you from wherever you're listening from and whatever you're doing. Welcome to the CC family. Welcome to the Culture Call family. So glad that you are a part of us on this morning. Second shout out, want to send it out to those of you who consistently and committed to listening to the Culture Call. Man, I'm telling you, you have been such a blessing to us in ways that we cannot even enunciate on the air. I'm telling you, you have taken us all the way to being the number one talk show in the state of Alabama. I'm super excited. I'm telling you, I never thought it would happen, but guess what? We could not have done it without you. So welcome. Number three, and as always, I want to I want to send a special shout out to the inimitable, the amazing, the anointed Brother Jay that keeps us blazing every morning from 5 a.m. until he passes off this revival hot baton to me every morning. And I'm telling you, he is definitely the man with the plan. I'm so super blessed to have him in my life. And we are blessed to have him on 790 and 93.3 FM. I'm telling you, he lights it up and causes us to have a great morning every morning. So listen, all of my shout outs, just want to say thank you. Listen, if you have not done so already, I want to remind you to go ahead and open up your smart device, whether it's an Apple phone, whether it's an Android phone, Google phone, whatever it is. I don't think it will work on a flip phone, but if it does, open it up to your app store. Go there, and there you will find our free 99 app. Type in Praise 93.3. You're going to find our free app right there. Download it on your phone, and there you will find out all of the news and all of the events that are going on, the weather. You're able to listen to us wherever you are, all from Brother Jay to my show, The Culture Call, to Midday, all of those. You can listen to it right there on Praise 93.3 app. You can ask questions in the chat. That's right. Be active part of the broadcast, and you don't have to miss one solitary thing. So listen, if you are in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Miami, Florida, Houston, Texas, Jackson, Mississippi, or right here in the beautiful city of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. That's right. Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Mobile, Montgomery. You can be in Aliceville, Utah, Bowler G, does not matter. Hale County, all around the area. You can hear us as you are going throughout your day. I need y'all to do me a favor. Absolutely. And I need you to email me your public service announcements and your events at culturecall.praise@gmail.com. That's culturecall.praise@gmail.com. And give us an opportunity to let Lottie Dottie and everybody know what's happening in your neck of the woods. Absolutely. We know some phenomenal things are happening. It's the springtime and so many wonderful things are happening all over our city. But we want to make sure that we let people know what your church or your organization, whether it's your fraternity or your sorority, it's scholarship gala season. So you need to let us know. Yeah. If you are an artist getting ready to do a new recording or to have a concert or a preacher and you're starting a new church or you're getting ready to have a fire revival, we want to let everybody know so that we can support you. That's right. I want everybody in the community to show their face in the place. You know why? Because we do it better when we do it together. And here is the golden number. Here it is. I need you to call in and let's chat it up. If you have an opportunity, 205-752-4800. That's 205-752-4800. Call into the show if you want to be a part of the conversation. And as I said before, you can definitely hit me up on the chat. That's right. That's right. The app has a chat feature. And you can send it to me and I get it on my email and I want to know how I'm doing. I want to know what you want to talk about and all those different kinds of things. And, so I can address it because I listen to my listeners. That's exactly right. So if I'm not addressing something or have not addressed something that you want me to talk about, absolutely. Send it to me on the chat. Also follow us on social media, Facebook page, The Culture Call. Go ahead and just press like and you will see all of the amazing things that we've talked about or points that we make throughout the day. You don't want to miss that. And then finally, I get a lot of people say, oh man, Bishop, I'm at work and I can't listen to the broadcast, or I missed it. I was listening to it, but I had to do something else and had to turn it off. Whatever. I understand. Listen, daily we archive every show. So make sure you follow us on Apple Podcasts. Culture Call. Leave the article "the" off and just type Culture Call, and there you will find my face, and you can listen to all of our past broadcasts and let it be a blessing to your life, because guess what? I am sure that it will. Do me a favor. Sit back and relax. That's right. Grab you some coffee. You know how we do it over here, Maxwell House of Starbucks. That's right. Maybe you're not a coffee drinker, and that's perfectly fine, but you need a little caffeine kick. Yeah. And so go ahead and get you some herbal tea. Now, if you're trying to calm down, go ahead and get some chamomile. But if you're trying to get that little caffeine kick that you need to make it throughout your day, green tea will help you all the while. And of course, you can always have some alkaline water. That's normally the water with the black label on it. That's right. My favorite is Essentia. That's right. Get detoxed and all that stuff out your blood system. Wake those cells up and let's get into the culture. Listen, we've been talking about all this month. It's been Stress Awareness Month, and we've been talking about all of the nuances of stress and what that entails in our lives, and why we really need to keep an eye on that, because a lot of in our community, a lot of diseases and sicknesses are attributed to having or carrying around a lot of stress on the inside of our bodies, right? And I know we make it normal. We add a level of normalcy to that, because, hey, we got to do what we got to do. We got to go to work. We got to go to class. We got to go to school. We got so many. We are caretakers, and we might have more than one job, more than two responsibilities. So I get it. That's right. But you got to make sure that you take care of your body, and that's more than just exercising and proper diet, but that's also being able to control your stress level, right? And so throughout this month, we're talking about making sure that you focus on that, your blood pressure, the consistent high headaches and migraines that you have, the changes in your eating pattern, all of those different kinds of things, not being able to sleep or having disturbed sleep because your mind won't stop, right? And those could over an extended period of time lead to other physical issues, right? Psychosomatic issues, right? And so we need to be mindful of that, because in our bloodline, in our generations, in our biologies, we may have things that are lying dormant that stress will wake up. Stress becomes the alarm clock for diabetes and certain cancers and certain other ailments that you would probably never see in you if that condition or that environment wasn't so stressful. And so we always want to take time to remind you to really pay attention and to rest your body well, to feed your body well, right? To get enough water, to eat properly. And we really got to look at that because now, because of capitalism and because everybody's trying to make money, the food that we get out of stores a lot of time are genetically modified. And, we got to really watch what we put in our bodies. We got to watch how we attack certain things, right? And of course, there are ways that we can do that, but we've got to be mindful of what we're dealing with and what we're working with. And I always tell my community, because we are probably, the most stressed out community in this entire country, all the way from 1492 to 2024. When we first got here, all of that we have been always under a stressful condition, right? James Baldwin, the famous writer, says that to be a black man or a black person in America is to always be angry, is to always be under stress and violence. And so we need to keep that in mind. There are things that we can do personally that will mitigate a lot of those things in our lives. And I think that's very important to bring out. And so we're going to try to expose all of that as best we can this month and try to give you a good running start. Some of us listening today, Culture Call, need a healthy, holistic reboot because we've got a lot of stress, right? A lot of our grandparents and foreparents died early, and even now dying early or not having the best quality of life because they live under so much stress and duress. And I think what is important for us is because we are a spiritual people, because we do have a safe haven, because we do believe in God, because we do have a place where our faith is exerted and our faith is at the centermost point of our lives. We do have what my grandmama would call a hiding place, right? We do have a hiding place, but understand this. We also have a responsibility to our humanity, to our physical being, to our soul being, to take care of those as well, right? One of my sayings is that we have to take care of our humanity because our humanity is the vehicle for our divinity, right? That leads us ultimately to God's destiny for our lives. So if you don't take care of your body, if you don't take care of your mind and your soul, if you don't take care of that, and I'm not just talking about being saved because that is the important part, that secures our eternity. But guess what? We've got lives to live until that moment. Right? We've got lives to live until that moment. So, we can't just say, oh, I'm saved and so I'm okay. No, we have individually a responsibility to make sure that we treat ourselves right and give ourselves a running chance to live the best quality of life that we can. This text says in John 10, it says this. It says, I am come that they might have life and that they have it abundantly, more abundantly, right? The Zoe kind of life, the God kind of life, or better yet, the life that God had framed for you in purpose, in destiny, before we even arrived. So we need to make sure that we understand that this is one of the things that Hebrews says are better things that accompany salvation. But also understand the preceding part of that. The thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. Put a quarter in the meter right there and let's park it. We have to understand as tripart beings, spirit, soul, and body, that we have an existential enemy that will do any and everything to rob us of the quality of life that God has ordained for us to live, right? So you can do all the exercise and all of the eating well and all of that. But if you don't pay attention to the quality of life that you live, meaning that you don't pay attention to your peace, your stress levels, how you're resting, your Sabbath, all the things that we've been talking about lately, then all of that. You will go to church. You will lift your hands and stroke out in church. You can have a heart attack right in the middle of praise and worship, right? That they can take you from church straight to the hospital, right? Because yes, he's come that you might have life, but that word there might, right, or may in some translations means that it's up for grabs. What does that mean? That means that we have a responsibility to enjoin, or better yet, conjoin the spiritual reality that we share, and do what we need to do to give, again, ourselves a chance, right? We are so busy trying to create a lifestyle that we forget our living. We forget to live, right? And it doesn't matter how hard we work and how many promotions we get and all of the accoutrements that come with better socioeconomic positioning, that this is why we're working for. We can move in a better neighborhood, all these different kinds of things, right? But this, if you and I do not change the pattern of our understanding concerning stress, concerning anxiety, concerning depression, concerning discouragement. You see where I'm going with that? Yeah. If we don't really concern ourselves with those things, then we'll have the best material life, but on the inside, we'll be drowning. We'll be dead. And here's the thing that there's no need to have a faith-based life. I'm from the Pentecostal church. We would say saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, and that with a mighty burning fire, running on to see the King. We would come up with all those cliches and verbiages. But on the flip side of that, if we don't pay attention to what's going on outside of, because we don't live 24 hours in church. We don't always live in the atmosphere of praise and worship, as it relates to singing and shouting and dancing and all those kinds of things like that, right? Because, those are the things that when I grew up, the older saints would tell us that if we did that, we would have trouble-free lives, right? And what I found out is that when I got saved at a young age and I got older, especially when I got to college, I was like, wait a minute, that formula that they gave us don't work. It does not work. Being stressed out, all of those different kinds of things. If I got a pastor listen to me, I'm telling you the truth, right? All those people, if you're a first lady listening to me, you know that the church world, if you don't handle it properly, and if you don't put it in its right prerogative and priority, that the church and church work will kill you. It will literally destroy your life if you don't have the right perspective and the right priority of where to place things, right? And so I think we've not really been taught as a community to give ourselves a chance, right? We've been taught work. We've been taught labor. We've been taught you gotta do this, you gotta do this. We've been trying to so busy run away from the idea of us being coined and labeled as lazy in this country. Now, notice this, that laziness attributed to black people were not even placed on us until after slavery, right? Because you brought us over here because we were workers. You brought us over here because we were laborers. You brought us over here because of our creativity, right? That we went through this transatlantic slave trade because of our particular work ethic. And you saw what we produced in our own motherland, right? And so you saw all of that. So whether it was in this country, South America, whether it was in the Caribbean, you brought us over into certain places in England and all of those places, Portugal, you name it. You went to Africa to bring us over because we weren't lazy, right? But as soon as we started gaining freedom and, and gaining liberty for our being, then you come up with this whole idea of they're lazy and they're shiftless, and you start doing things, and especially when media came about, this whole idea of step and fetching and all of these different kinds of things, and we're dragging our feet and we sitting up under the tree. All of those are caricatures that the institutional media placed on us so that we could begin to buy into that. And so now we have an aversion when we see people resting. We have an aversion, I'm talking about a community aversion when we see people not working and laboring. We honor work and labor so much that rest is anathema. Rest is like that, almost of a demonic sort. When we talk about go take a vacation, most of us, vacation for us, especially when I was growing up, was going to church, right? Our church was based in Waycross, Georgia, and partly in Savannah. So when our vacation was that, right? I think my first real vacation was with my grandparents when they took me with them to see my uncle and my aunt and my cousin when we went to New York. That was my first real vacation, right? That I didn't have to go to church. I wasn't singing. I wasn't playing, because I've been doing that since I can remember. And, we could look at cartoons and we could do all of those kinds of things, right? But when I got home, our vacation, we getting ready to go to assembly. We getting ready to go to here. And I mean, church was vacation, right? It wasn't no beach, it wasn't none of that, right? Every now and then our daddy snuck us out to the beach, Short Stay Beach right there in Macbeth, out on the outskirts of Moncks Corner, South Carolina. And he would take us and he taught us how to swim. Well, he didn't teach us how to swim. What my daddy teaching how to swim was throwing us in the lake. He threw us in the water and said, get back to me and you better not drown, because I don't know what to tell your mama. That was how our dad taught us how to swim. And so it was in that kind of idea that we learned how to swim, right? That was the good times, right? I can see it in my mind now. But yeah, we are taught to work. We are taught to work ourselves down to the bone. And I want to say the perspective that we have of working also robs us from being able to live a full life. That most of our ancestors worked themselves to death. Retire? What? What do you mean retire? And a lot of you who are listening to me now are afraid to retire. Afraid to retire because you don't know what you will do. You don't know that if I stop working, something gonna happen to me. And that's kind of that's what's in our mind. Now, other cultures, other ethnicities, other races, such as it relates to social constructing, they retire. Pastors, they retire. White pastors retire, right? White pastors will, and I'm talking about retire in their 40s and 50s. Like, I'm out. I'm done. I'm not doing this no more. I'm going to teach. I'm going to write books. I'm going to travel and do conferences, but I'm not going to pastor. But in our community, we stay in the pulpit till our hands shaking, and we got, borderline dementia, and repeating the same words. And our churches are so kind to us that they let us stay there. I've seen that over and over and over again, because in our minds, if we really stop, if we really give ourselves a break, if we really take time to, what they say, smell the proverbial roses, that something going to happen to us. Something is going to, there's something detrimental that's going to take place. And so we have a personal aversion to this whole idea of giving ourselves a chance to live life. Wouldn't it be a tragedy for you, for your line of demarcation to be 80 years old and, even 90, and you work up all the way to your end? And we celebrate that. And hear me what I'm saying. I'm not saying that if you are that age, you shouldn't do anything. What I'm saying is, if you are that age, you should be doing it because you want to. You should be gardening. You should be doing whatever. You should be fishing. You should be, because you want to, not because you have to. Not because you're still trying to make a living, not because you're still trying to get paid. And that speaks of the economic system that we do have in this country, but that also speaks of the kind of bad and mal-definitions we have with regards to, understanding what it means to have a stress-free life. You're going to spend most of your life clocking in 9 to 5? Absolutely not. And if the GOP Congress gets back in fully, if there gets enough, they're trying to move the retirement age. They're trying to move it. They're trying to take away the Social Security and Medicare. They're trying to take away entitlements. Things that people have already worked for, they're trying to take that and give tax cuts to businesses. That's how they plan to pay for it. right? And so, yeah, you and I need to be like, wait a minute, hold on. I'm going to work all my life. I'm going to work with no vacation time because they don't give a lot of vacation time. No. And I'm going to do all of this only for you to get in leadership and try to take the little bit I'm going to get away so that you can give tax cuts to billionaires? Do you hear how crazy that sounds, Coach Call? Do you hear how crazy that sounds? But, comma, that's what's happening, right? If we don't pay attention, right, that's what's going to happen. But don't worry about it because I'm going to make sure we pay attention because I'm going to talk about it because that is a reality, right? And so you and I have to start thinking about, hey, giving ourselves a chance to really live out the reality of John 10:10, the B clause. I am come that they may have life and life more abundantly. That's not just everlasting life. That's John 3:16, right? Right? For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son that whosoever believeth upon him shall not perish but have everlasting life. That's that. John 10:10 is something different. That's a different word, a different Greek word, Zoe, the God kind of life. If you really dig into that, it means life to the fullest. And so the whole idea now is making sure that you and I have a what? A full life. You and I live a full life. And beloved, guess what? The full life is not working every moment and every second and just taking 5 to 8 hours of sleep to work 16 hours a day. Absolutely. That's 24 hours already, right? But when you're going to enjoy your family, when you're going to enjoy some leisure time, when you're going to enjoy just watching TV and talking to your kids, your grandchildren, when you're going to enjoy doing something that is for you, when you're going to do that, that's important. That too is a part of the full life. And you've got to give yourself a chance to live. So while y'all listening to me this morning, I need you to begin to make up your mind that I'm not going to betray myself anymore. I'm not going to do that anymore. I am not going to take the sword and slit my own throat because of this thing, this mantra, or because of the old wives' tales or the philosophies of old that they used to do. Some of them didn't have any choice, but you and I know better now. And when you know better, you must do better, right? That, yes, no, I cannot keep the grandkids tonight. I'm going to go out with some of my friends from church. We're going to go and take in a movie. No, I cannot. Nope. You keep them hollering kids over at your house tonight. I'll find somebody else to do it, but I'm going to rest. I'm going to have a good time. Nope. I'm not going to be able to do that. Today is my only day off, and I'm going to get my feet done. I'm going to get my hands done. I'm going to treat myself to a good meal, right? That my money got to go more than just to pay bills. Right? I'm going to use the monies that I am gaining to take care of me or to give myself a chance to de-stress. I'm going to the spa. And I know some of y'all sanctified folks are against going to the massage because holiness of hell. I get it. I don't want nobody rubbing up on me. I get it. I understand it. But I'm telling you, it will bless your life, right? You will leave out there and say, somebody laid their hands on me. I'm telling you, it is a blessing. You'll be surprised. You will be surprised. I could never get my mom to go. She was like, oh, no, ain't nobody going to put their hands on me but Joseph, but JW. That's my daddy, right? That's hilarious. But yes, you need, and they will show you where the stress points are in your neck, in your back, in your shoulders, and you would be surprised when you just take time to breathe, when you take time to live, when you take time to notice the things, when you take time to just sit on your back porch and just listening to the birds, looking at the hummingbirds, looking at the butterflies, looking at bugs crawl, right? You will be surprised, right, of how your life and how your mind will begin to unravel, right? How your decisions will change and your choices will change. You will be surprised when you give yourself a chance to live. That's what I want to talk about today, Culture Call, giving ourselves a chance to live. Don't work your whole life, and then the next time you really rest is when we are singing slow songs at your funeral and you won't even know it. Give yourself a chance to live. Listen, this is the Culture Call, the award-winning Culture Call with yours truly, L. Spencer Smith, right here on Praise 93.3 FM. I need you to keep it right here. We've got more to come. Don't miss it.
This is the world premiere.
And we are back right here on the Culture Call with yours truly, L. Spencer Smith. And I'm telling you, we're already having amazingly blessed day, talking about giving ourselves a chance to live. Listen, I need you to understand. I need you to know that, hey, if you don't do it, nobody else and nothing else will. I tell you, and I'm proceeding this with John 10 today. You know, I normally come with scientific facts and different kinds of facts, but I want to hunker down on John 10:10 today because I think that is the clue. And I want to start with the B clause of that. For those of you who love a good Bible reading, Bible study, and all that kind of stuff, I normally just talk about, but let me help you here. Because if you don't give yourself a chance to live that reality, I am come that they may have life and have it more abundantly. That word more abundantly is life more abundantly is the word Zoe, which means God kind of life or life to the fullest, right? And then I need you to balance it with the A clause of that same verse. The thief comes to steal, kill, and to destroy. Now, let me help you with that front part because I think that's very important as we talk this morning, right? So this is not Bible study, but, track with me, if you will. That steal, kill, and destroy does not mean that the thief has the power to take your life. Right? That's not what that means. That word is not obliterate your life, destroy in terms of obliterate. It's annihilate. And when you look at what the word annihilate means, it means to strip you. The ultimate thing is to keep you alive, but strip you of all of your power to do any better or have any agency or effort to make your life any better. So when we get to steal, kill, and to destroy, it doesn't mean to obliterate. Obliterate means to wipe you out. Annihilate means to wear you down so that you cannot have any viable opportunity to have what's on the other side of that comma, which is what? Life to the full. That's what the text means. So what you have to understand. So every day, life is going to happen. Every day, experiences are going to come, right? Every day that we're going to have to deal with, bills. Yes, we're going to have to deal with, family. We're going to have to deal with marriage. We're going to have to deal with money. We're going to have to deal with mortgages and rent and all those kinds of things. I mean, you name it, we got to deal with it. You got to deal with work, and you could be in a hostile workplace, all those different kinds of things, transitions at your place of employment. All of that is going to happen. Listen, you and I are not alleviated from having to experience any of that. None of that, right? This whole idea of the salvific life or life in Christ or the life designed by God does not negate the fact that we have to live life in this world, right? Right? We don't get a special kind of pass. No, all of us are going to have to one day sit on the front row at a funeral and mourn our family. All of us are going to have to do that. We are all subjected to the phenomena and the experiences of life, right? But the situation is that should not overcome us, or that should not destroy or annihilate us or wear us down to the point to where we internalize it all and it starts showing itself in bodily reactions, physical reactions, right? That we've got stroke level high blood pressure, that our diabetes are so out of control of that, they're talking amputation now or dialysis, that we should not stroke ourselves out or have, tumors and fibroids and all these different kinds of things, right? And neither should we get to the place to where we think that there is something righteous about being sick. That there is nothing righteous, holy, and sanctified or whatever, consecratory, all of that. There is nothing that, no. He is Jehovah Rapha, that he is the one that heals us. But how do we maintain that healing? That's our responsibility. And that needs to be taught from the cradle all the way up to the tomb. That, yes, we have to make sure we do our best, right? In how we take care of our lives so that we can experience life to the full. You got it, Culture Call. See, this is the thing. And I want to be very pointed as I say this. This is what we don't necessarily talk about, right? We sing songs like Jesus Gonna Fix It by and by, and we talk about all these different kinds of things. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Sometimes the best way to give yourself a chance at life is to say this one word, no. And I'm going to come back to that on the second hour. That word no. That word no is a healer. That word no is a liberator. That word no is a redeemer. Yes. Now, other people may not like you saying no, but no is the protection of your peace. I'm not going to cause myself to be so disconnected and detached and distracted by satisfying you. Because here is what I found out, Culture Call. And I know I can get an amen right here. Don't say it too loud if you're at work. But here it is. The problem with the reason why givers have to learn how to say no and have to learn how to marginalize themselves and how to limit themselves is because receivers don't care how much you give. They're just in the taking business. So if you are one that's always giving, you're going to have to learn how to build boundaries because the people who you're giving to will be satisfied until you're giving. Watch this. And then when you stop giving, that's when they say, well, what's wrong with you? What's wrong? But, and try to put a guilt trip on you. No, what that is gaslighting. That's manipulation. No, you have to learn how to say, no, this is my time. This is my time. I am a pastor. Yes, that's what I do in terms of call and occupation. I am that, right? But hear me, that as much as I preach and teach, I've been doing it 29 years, this year, but almost 28 years now. And guess what? I want to live life to experience the fullness of my family. My wife and I have been planning for this, our older age, since we've been in college, since we were college sweethearts. Yes. I don't want to get to the place to where I'm so worn down trying to preach. No, she is my wife. The church is not my wife. And, you got to say that to people because they don't understand it. I've got people around me that know how to pull me back or know how to protect me and say, hey, no, he's not going to have a counseling session. And he spent 45 minutes to an hour preaching and laying and praying for everybody at the altar and doing all this kind of stuff. And now you want to hold up his time for 30 minutes having a discussion about something you don't feel right about? Nope, absolutely not. Nope. And I'm really passionate about this, especially for pastors. Because we put a mark on pastors' heads. And I know some of y'all don't like me saying it, but guess what? I got the mic, so let me say it. Hear me. We put so much pressure on these men and women of God because somebody told us that that's what y'all supposed to do. You're supposed to wake up in the middle of the night and keep my marriage together. No, You're supposed to get up in the middle of the night and come see me in the hospital with my toe hurting. No, there is nothing scripturally that says that we're supposed to do that. We are supposed to guard the flock. We're supposed to teach you how to make better decisions in your life. That's it, to feed you with knowledge and understanding and wisdom. That's what we are designed to do. But we are not designed to leave our families always just to see about the fact that you can't take care of your family. That's not how that's supposed to go. No, absolutely not. Oftentimes, I talk to my friends, a lot of my friends that are pastors, and they say, man, I had the X, Y, Z, ABC, and all this. And I said, wait a minute, did you take time to at least spend time with your wife today? Man, yeah, man. But I was so tired I had to go to bed. I'm like, what? I'm saying, listen to me. That woman that God gave you is supposed to make sure that she provides a place of peace so that when you get home, she's supposed to be the one to say, no, not today. Not my husband. Not today. Not today. Huh? Take it to God in prayer, because my husband won't be answering the phone. He is resting. He is resting today. He had a long day. He's been to the hospital. He's been to this. He's had meetings. He's had all these different kinds of things. No, he is not talking. Don't call here after 9 o'clock. No. Because he's a family man. He's got to spend time with his children. Because if something happened to his family, guess what you're going to do? You're going to talk about him anyway. Say amen, church. Come on, Coach. Y'all know I'm telling you the truth. You know I'm right. You know I'm right. And it's cool. I get it. But it's the framework of our community. It's the framework of our community, right? And that's how we think. And just because you think it and feel it does not mean that it is right. Does not mean that it is correct. And that has been some of the hardest things to convince people. Just because you feel a certain way, feelings don't trump facts. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Speak it to America. I will. Just because you feel a way about it does not mean it is the facts. Feelings do not trump the facts. No, they do not. It is what it is. Call a thing a thing. And really, I don't care how you feel about it. You can cry about it. But the fact remains that ain't going to change. It ain't going to change. I cried at my daddy's funeral. I cried at my mama's funeral. I cried at everybody. Listen, the fact is, here's the facts, that in spite of my feelings, the fact is that they're gone. You feel what I'm saying? You can cry. You can be upset all about it. But guess what? Your feelings ain't going to trump your facts. The facts that you got to deal with and you got to face. And so you got to learn then how to partition your life and say, okay, I've done the best I can. I'm going to rest. I've done the best I can, and I'm going to take a vacation. I'm going to relax. My wife came to me one day. She said, baby, we haven't had a vacation. I said, yes. But, in my mind I was just doing a whole lot going on with the church, whole lot going on with my music, trying to finish up a book. She says, listen, after you finish school, we're going to go on a vacation. And I was like, yes, ma'am. And she booked us a vacation. And I was like, oh, wow, okay. She took over. And I appreciate that, because her thing is, I'm watching you. I've seen you. I'm watching you get older. I'm watching your black hair that I met you with turn gray. I'm watching that high top afro get a bald spot in the middle. And I got to take care of my man. Yeah, shout out to P. That's right. You take care of your man, girl. That's right. We got to experience life to the fullest. Life to the fullest. The kind of life that God has desired us to have. The kind of life that John was praying for Gaius in 3 John 2. I wish above all things that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. And so you got to learn how to stop betraying yourself, Culture Call, and schedule. We're doing something this year at the church that's audacious. That the entire 7th month, the month of Sabbath, July, that we're going to limit the services. We're going to shut it down and let the church rest. Right? Y'all not going to have Sunday service? I didn't say that. I said, no, all the auxiliary programs, we cutting service short. We don't, no, because I don't want my staff and my team to be stressed out. I need to be primed because of where we got to go. Right? And, we got to give a church vacation. You worship at your house on Wednesdays. We'll figure out something to do. Pay your money now, because you can only do that if you pay your money, right? And all those different kinds of things. Absolutely. But we're so caught up into certain things that we think, because we're caught up into it, that's how, how it's supposed to go. And if we don't do and self-correct, because it's a self-correction. It's a self-correction. You know, I went to the doctor and the doctor said, well, okay, all right, your blood pressure is high and I don't like where your numbers are in terms of your sugar. I don't like that. He said, but you know what? Well, the nurse said, you can self-correct that. You can self-correct that. De-stress yourself. Watch what you eat. Go exercise. Have a time of peace. Have a time of rest and relaxation. Do that. And so slowly but surely, I started pulling back. I started, organizing and reorganizing my staff, my team. I started giving responsibility over and delegating responsibility. Don't feel like I've got to do everything all the time, because I'm not one of those people that's going to have a staff of folks sitting up on there, a bunch of preachers waiting to preach and be mad at me because they don't get the mic. No, here it is right here. Here it is. Oh, well, okay, fine. You want to do this? Do that. Yeah, you have to do that. Even in your personal life. I remember growing up, my mom said, I don't feel like cooking. And the only way she could say that is because before she taught us how to cook. And she taught us how to cook. And then, of course, my daddy was the cook in the house. And he taught us how to cook. And she said, I don't feel like cooking today. Y'all cook your food. If you're going to eat, you're going to eat. And so, my oldest brother, he could make a mean fried pork chop, pork and beans and rice. What you say today? Or, he would eat a fried chicken and field peas and rice, because, we're from South Carolina. We got to have rice for everything, right? Right. Absolutely. Or they give us a piece of change and we go to McDonald's or Hardee's when they were making real burgers, when the food was really good then. Absolutely. We had to do all of that because she taught us she's going to take a break. I'm going to take a break. I don't feel like it tonight. I've been working all day. I don't feel like it. I'm going to bed early tonight. So now if y'all going to eat, figure out how you're going to do it. You got to take some time for you. Culture Call. Don't y'all listen to me and hear me clear. There is nothing wrong with taking care of yourself and giving yourself to get a little bit of this abundant life, of this life to the full. Absolutely. It's right there, John 10:10. And you can read it in any kind of translation, right? King James, I'm an NRSV guy. I'm an ESV guy. Yeah, but some of y'all are King James. Yeah. How the old saints say, I read the Bible that Jesus read. It wasn't even no Bible at the time, right? But nonetheless, yeah, read the Bible that Jesus read. I don't mind, because what you're going to find in John 10:10 is exactly what I said, that his design is to have you to have what? Life to the full. You got to give yourself some time to have some God kind of life, right? Before you end up shipwrecked and broken down and good for nothing. And then somebody got to take you everywhere you go and all this kind of stuff because you done wore yourself down. That is not God's best for you. Absolutely not. Listen. This is the Coach Call right here on Praise 93.3 FM, your inspiration station. Listen, I've got more to come. I don't need you to miss it. Get you something to drink, hydrate, and keep it right here. Don't miss it.
This is the world premiere.
And we are back right here on the Culture Call with yours truly, L. Spencer Smith. It's the top of the hour, 11 a.m. and some change. Absolutely. And let me tell you, we are having an amazing day. Welcome to all of you who are joining us on our second hour. Yeah, we're talking about, Stress Awareness Month. Giving yourself a chance to live a full life. That's what we're talking about today. And I'm telling you, we've been having a blast in our first hour. Listen to me. I've got a few announcements that I want to make, community announcements. Join us at the Impact Nation on tomorrow and Saturday as we convene our prayer ladders training and symposium for prayer warriors, intercessors, leaders, pastors. we are coming together to build a prayer institute and prayer wall in our city and for our regions, right? With various churches and various intercessors all around our this Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Montgomery, where they're coming from every place. Mississippi, they're going to be coming from everywhere. And we need you to be there. Tomorrow, it begins at 6:30. And then on Saturday, we begin at 10. And so that we can train and we can tell you really what is on the heart of God concerning prayer and intercession. I think that's very important. So if you're listening to me and you are enjoined at church in your prayer, or you have a prayer group or whatever, come be a part of the Impact Nation Fellowship Church tomorrow and on Saturday morning. You can find more information on the Culture Call page on Facebook. We'll put it up as soon as we get off the air. We're going to put that up for you so you can get that information, but we would love to see you. The cost is free. No registration. We just need you to come and show up. It's going to be a wonderful time where we join together in prayer and intercession to stand in the gap. That's right. Stand in the gap for our communities, our cities, our churches, our homes, marriages, etc. Our children, finances, whatever the case may be. We want to create a space, right, where heaven meets the earth, and we want you to be a part of it. Listen. On this Sunday, I'll be doing a book signing for my new book, Child Left Behind. I wrote a book concerning grief of children whose both parents have passed, and that feeling of grief and how we can help each other and navigate it. I'll be doing a book signing on this Sunday at our church. And then on next Wednesday, I'll be doing a grief discussion concerning that. It's going to be a powerful, powerful time. I tried to be as transparent and as honest as I possibly could. My mother, who was my last parent, passed in 2022, and literally it has been a journey. It has been a journey, just a totally different feeling, a totally different perspective. And so, yeah, you can get the book on my website. We'll have the book at the church if you're not able to get there on Sunday. We have them available on Wednesday as well. But if you're not able to come, either way, you can get it from www.lspencersmith. That's SPENSER, not C, lspencersmith.com. And you can go to the store there, and I believe it's the first product that they have listed there. But you can get the book if you have lost both of your parents, and it doesn't matter how long it's been. It doesn't have to be recent. It can be, it could have been 10, 15, 20 years ago. There is a particular adjustment that you have to make, and grief is not fair. Grief got hands, like the kids say. Grief will pop you in the face and pop you in your heart. You could be in the grocery store and grief hits you, and you just like, it hits you like, my goodness, and it comes back to you, that same feeling, that same space immediately. Well, how do we navigate that? And is anything wrong with that? Well, and I know that there's nothing wrong with that. But let's talk about the science. Let's talk about the whole idea of what God has intended in that moment. So, hey, you have my personal invitation to come to our book signing on Sunday and get a book. You might come to, you might have to leave your church. After you leave your church, come on by our church and let me sign one of my books for you. Or you can be there on Sunday, or you can just join us on Wednesday as we have the book discussion. It's going to be a definite blessing for your life. And so you don't want to miss that, okay? Good deal. Listen, if you have any other public service announcements for your church, your organization, go ahead and send it to me at culturecall.praise@gmail.com. That's culturecall.praise@gmail.com. Or you can message me on our Facebook page. Go ahead to Facebook and type in The Culture Call, and you will find us there. Go ahead and tap that like button, and you can message us your announcements or your events, and we will begin to let everybody know on the air about what's going on in your neck of the woods. And so we want everybody to come and be a part of what you are doing. All right. So, listen, 205-752-4800. You can hit me up on the chat. We're talking about giving yourself a chance to live this whole idea of the abundant life. And, I love to talk about and give, systemic reasons for things. And, Somebody hit me up today, just saying, hey, you talk too much. Just talk about the Bible. Well, see, listen, don't insult yourself like that. Don't do that. Don't do that. You know, I'm very well capable to do it all. The issue is why can you only just talk about the Bible? Is the only book you can talk about. That's the problem. That's the problem. Because what the Bible gives answers to are questions you don't even know how to ask. And so we got to learn how to ask the right questions, right? So when he says that I am Jehovah Shalom, I am the God that covenants with you to give you peace. I will keep you in perfect peace if your mind is stayed on me because you trust me. What does that really mean? Is that God gives us in Hebrew all of these covenant names: Jehovah Shalom, Jehovah Jireh, Jehovah Rapha, Jehovah Sidkenu, Jehovah Mekadesh, Jehovah Gamola. He gives us all of these covenant names, right? He gives Israel all of these covenant names because every one of those names has to deal with how he begins to express, watch this, his I am that I am, right? That he expressed in a person's life or in his children's life, right? So he gives covenant names, right? Do you need provision because you're worried about how you're going to make it? Well, I'm Jehovah Jireh, right? Do you're feeling dirty and unclean? Well, I'm Jehovah Sidkenu. I'll be your righteousness, right? Are you sick and diseased? Are you debilitated? Well, I'll be Jehovah Rapha, the Lord God, your healer. Right? And so, yeah, that there are answers in scriptures that if you don't know what the question is, or if you don't know how to connect the question to God's answers, you know, that's going to be a problem. You'll be reading the Bible, but never have a life transforming experience through the word of God. Why? Because you don't understand the right questions. You just read the Bible, but doesn't even understand that those are God's answers to human or to man's questions. That's very important. And so this is why today I want to focus on not just the psychological reports, because we could do that, not just the physiological reports or biological reports or chemical approaches to what happens when you and I are under an extended period of stress. No, I want to read it today for my friends out there who want me to do more Bible. Guess what? John 10:10. That's why I'm bringing this to the conversation and to the forefront because, yeah, we know how to quote the scripture, but we don't know how to apply it, right? Here is the deal. I said before, and I'll say it again, that whole idea, life abundantly, is the phrase Zoe, which is, or the word Zoe, or the God kind of life. The God kind of life. Theos Zoe, or Zoe Theos, right? That the God kind of life. In other words, the life that God has designed you to live is the life that Jesus came to give. Now, if you dig deeper in that, what it means beyond the English understanding, because many people only have an English understanding, but that thing is deep when you dig into the original language of the Greek. It means to have the fullest kind of life that you are supposed to live. That God did not design our lives to struggle and to meander and to go wondrously or try to live paycheck to paycheck. That's not the God kind of life. That's the life that we have decided and the choices that we have made that led us to places of limitation, places of debilitation, places of handicap and disability, not physical, but just in terms of how we are using our lives to produce, how we are using our lives to be better, right? And so he prefaces that in John with the thief. The thief comes to steal, kill, and to destroy. That word destroy there means to not obliterate. He can't wipe you out. The devil can't wipe you out. The thief can't wipe you out, right? Bad teachings are not designed, and bad philosophies that we listen to, old wives' tales, are not designed to wipe you out. It can't do that. What it is designed to do is to annihilate you, to rob you of purpose, and to steal away your energy and your power and your agency to live the best life. He wants to marginalize, suppress you. Right? It wants to enslave you to a moment or enslave you to a bloodline or enslave you to a decision and makes you feel like you can't do any better or it doesn't get any better than this, or to shackle you to a mentality that literally robs you and strips you of the best you can ever possibly live, right? That's what that word destroy there means, right? And in the text, it doesn't mean Satan or the devil. It could mean anything that comes to speak something and brings you something, enter into a way to strip you of your faith, strip you of your fortitude, strip you of your strength, strip you of your joy, strip you of your purpose, strip you of all that understanding and wisdom, right? To prevent you from getting to the truth, right? That's what it comes to steal, kill, and limit you so you cannot have your best life. Now, here is that. The connection, he said you might. That because it's you might, that means that's where I participate. That's where you participate. I might have life, right? You might have life, or you might not, depending on what? Your decisions. Depending on what? Your choices. Depending on what? How you handle this truth. How you deal with and transform and rearrange your life, actually, to the truth, to be transformed, to live the best life you can possibly live. That's what it's all about. And that's why I'm pushing you to understand that your body will house and hold things if you don't know how to shift, if you don't know how to change, if you don't know how to get an understanding of really what you have. See, each and every decade that you live, 20s, 30s, we can start with the teens, 10s, 20s, 30s, 40s, right? You got to understand that your strength and will abate to some degree, right? And the older you get, the less choices that you have to make, right? In terms of the quality of life you live. And so if you used all of your life, making bad decisions, drinking and addictions to drugs, cocaine, marijuana, you can name it. If you made bad decisions in your sexual life, all of those different kinds of things, the older you get, the more difficult it becomes to have this full kind of life. And so this is why that word is there. Because it's not that he doesn't have it to give. He does. That's why he came. He says, I'm come that you can have that. But, what will you choose? What will you decide to do? What do you want your life to look like? Right? This is why in this Stress Awareness Month, you need to really take account to where is your peace positioned? Where is your Sabbath position? Where are the selahs in your life? When are you going to do something that brings your smile back, to bring your joy back? And that's not just going to church. Yes, because you should experience exuberance. You should experience happiness and joy when you go to church. I agree. Listen, David says, I was glad when they said unto me, let us go into the house of the Lord. Listen, rejoice and be glad. And again, I say rejoice. That's what the text says, that we ought to serve the Lord with what? Gladness. Right. But church ain't the only thing that you need to experience life to the full. Right? Sometimes you can experience that by going on a vacation. If you've only been in Tuscaloosa or Birmingham or Alabama all your life and you've not experienced anywhere else, that's not life to the full. I'm not saying you got to go to Paris or you got to go to Rome or you got to go to Greece. That's not what I'm saying. You got to go to Jamaica. Yeah. But if you want to go, you should. Right? You don't have to take the expensive cruise. You can start out, taking a small cruise, just, going and to somewhere and, to Mexico or Cozumel and come on, turn back. Invest in your peace. Invest in the things that will make your life better. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Yes, we have to learn to do that. And we struggle with that. Let me say it again. And we struggle with that. As a people, we struggle with that. And as we said in the first hour, it's because of how we've been labeled, right? that mama and grandmama and granddaddy them, they didn't give us no time off. On a Saturday after school, you had to get up and you had to wash dishes, you had to vacuum the floor. You kept working. And then you worked all day and you might have had a little bit of time to play, and then you had to come on back in the house because tomorrow is church. We got to get up. And if you're like me, we're in church all Sunday. Oh, you got Sunday school, Sunday morning service. You get a bite to eat, come back Sunday night, and then the week of school starts all over again. A lot of us were raised that way. And so that's kind of the tradition that we believe in. That's kind of the way that we think about life. That work, we got to labor, right? That's what we think. What I'm telling you today is that we may need to look at that thing again. And that is not castigating anybody's foreparents. That's the way I was raised. And I love my grandma, my granddaddy. I love my daddy and my mama. I love them. We were workers. They made us workers because you weren't going to be in their house and be lazy. We had to mow the grass. I'm not saying not to do chores, anything. What I am saying is that you have to carve out a certain amount of time, right, to get the other part of your life. This is why the roses are red and the grass is green and the sky is blue. This is why the water looks as good as it does. This is why. This is why God made all these colors and made all these things so that you could have, when you open your eyes, everything wasn't gray. Everything ain't white. Everything ain't black, right? Everything has there are things that have color, uniqueness, right? That because he wants you to enjoy it. Even as your soul prosper, right? That's why there are a myriad of colors, because it brings your mind and your soul, your imagination and your creativity out. You know, my son said something so brilliant on the other day, the day of the eclipse. He said, you know what? He said, God is out here saying, hey, y'all, hey, children, let me show you a trick that I can do. Let me show you what I can do. I can let the moon pass before the sun. I can show you this. And our response as his children was fear. We're scared. Like, oh, the world getting ready to come to an end. Oh, I'm like, really? That's what you think, because that's what we are taught. That's what we are taught. We are taught to think, oh, be afraid of him. Be afraid of him. Don't question him. Don't say nothing about him. Just say yes, the Lord. I mean, everything we are taught is not respect. We are taught fear. Fear in the Hebrew, fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. That's respect and awe and honor of the Lord. That's not timidity. That's not functioning pusillanimously. That's not coming out and hiding in the corner from God. That's not what that is. No. When you read Psalm 8, if you look at Psalm 8, it opens up with the brilliance that God has done in creation. He says, listen, all of nature, all of creation testifies of my glory and my goodness. So I see in everything that goes on, even in weather patterns, right? If it didn't rain as much as it did, we'd be complaining about, oh, the water table low and my collard greens and my plants ain't going to grow right. Right? But then when it starts raining, God must be mad. And everything. Why does he always have to be mad? Because that's the frame of life. That's the frame of life that we have, especially as black folks. That's the idea and the framework and the context that we live, that God is angry. That if I make a mistake one day, he going to throw me away. That's not even what the text says. He says, though I fall, I am not utterly cast down. Here's what he said in Jude. He says, now unto him who is able to keep you from falling. Yes, you don't have to fall, but if you do, he ain't throwing you away. The text says he will hold you. You are not utterly cast down. Why? Because he upholds you in his right hand. Right? And so part of our posture and the part of our makeup is this whole idea of fearing the one that says, I need you to see the beauty in the sky. I need you to take time to look at the flowers, look at the yellow, look at the oranges, look at the purples, and look at the reds. And the roses come in different shades of red and different colors. I need you to look at that. Look at the hummingbird. Look at the bumblebee. Look at it. Look at it. Right? He gives us all of that. to enjoy freely is what the text says. Freely to what? Enjoy. And we are afraid to enjoy. Yes, we have to stop being afraid to enjoy the life that God set out for us. Right? It is what Jesus said in Matthew 6. Come on, Bible readers. Matthew 6 says, what? Take no thought. Why are you worried about it? He says, can worrying add any cubit to your stature? Can it add any more inches to your height? Does it make you better the more you worry? That's what he said. He says, listen, that you're worried about these things and God feeds the sparrow. You're worried about all of these different kinds of things, but he clothes the lilies of the field, right? He knows what you need, where he made sure that the birds have nests. He says, and how much more does your Father know that you have need of these things? So he begins to conclude it in 6:33. You seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. Added unto you. And he says, stop worrying about tomorrow. Tomorrow, if trouble is going to be there, it'll be there tomorrow. Enjoy yourself today. Don't worry about today. You 2 and 3 years down the road worried. Come on. And trying to figure out why they always got to increase your blood pressure medicine. It's your choices. It's your decisions. It's the way that we view life. And that's amazing. That is amazing. I hope I'm being clear. I know I am, by the way. I know I'm being clear, Coach Call. Hey, I'm expressing this to my community because the root of it, I'm like, you know, I look at people all the time and I say, hey, you need to chill out. You always wound up. Calm down. Am I worried? You know, am I upset? No, then you calm down. Well, I don't want to, and I don't want to, and I don't want to, I don't want to. I said, well, nope. I said, see, when you get like that, you're not serving the Lord with gladness. No. And you're not even a help to me because you can't do anything without you stressing over about what I asked you to help me do. Now you stressing out about it, and then you're going to bring me stress about it. No, so So I got to remove you out of my life. I got to remove you off my team because this got to be a stress-free team. Will there be moments of intensity? Absolutely. But do we have to stress out about it? Absolutely not. Because if we're stressing out about it, it's one of two things. We've not properly prepared for it, right? Or two, this is something that God has not ordained for us to do. If I got to stress on that level, if I got to panic and have heart palpitations, right? No. We can't even see that, in our lives, that one side is trying to, even in this country right now, one side is trying to stir up fears, trying to stir up this, have nothing positive to say, trying to strip freedoms, trying to suppress. That side is antithetical to what we read in Scripture. I don't care who supports it. It is not Scripture. Absolutely not. And another side that says, hey, it's going to take some time because we were in a hole in this years of the pandemic. It's going to take a minute for us to come back out, but we're trying hard to get back. It's looking better. The employment numbers are getting better. And there's always somebody say, yeah, but it ain't my house. It ain't my house. Well, hold on. I told them last night at Bible study, here's what I said. I said, ain't no need for me to get mad at you when God bless you. If we are connected, and we live on the same street, if God blessing you, he's on his way to my house. We all live on Blessed Boulevard. So chill out. Let me rejoice with you like you rejoicing. I'm happy for you. Yes, that's exactly right. I'm happy for you. I'm not hanging around people that I'm happy for them, and then they're not happy for me, and they're not happy for me, not because I got it. They're unhappy for me. They're unhappy because they don't want me to have it. They don't have it in their lives, and so they feel like if they don't have it, I shouldn't have it either. Oh, absolutely not. That's not how this works. Yeah. One of my daddy's favorite things was always chill out, man. Chill out. It's chill out. Take a chill pill. And some of you listening to me today need to chill. You need to chill out. That's what Jesus was saying, peace. You got so little faith. Why are you doubting? You're going to come out of this all right. It's going to be okay. I need you to live life to the full. I need you to live as long as I have set you to live. And I don't need your decisions, your bad decisions, or your panicky or your anxiety to cancel out the time that I have given you. Yes, I have given you all this time, and you're going to panic yourself into an early grave. Into an early grave because of sickness, because of disease, right? Because of all these things. You're going to panic yourself. You're going to just be worried, and work. I got to do, I work. Yeah. My baby needs the Jordans. No, they don't. No, they don't. They don't need no $200 and $300 shoes. No, they don't. They don't need that. No, because they don't know how to be responsible to take care of anything $200 or $300. Well, I want to give them what I didn't have. No, what do you mean? You had shoes, they got shoes. Who said they got to be $200, $300, $400? Who are you trying to get them to impress? And then they go to high school, and then all these gangs strip them of their shoes, take the shoes, or hurt them because they got these expensive shoes that have resale value. Right? You buying them expensive cars. Right? But they can't get out the 10th or 11th grade. What are you doing? Why are you stressing that? Why are you doing that? For what? What does that add to you? How does that make life better? How is that experiencing the fullness of life, Culture Call? We've got to change and transform our behavior. That's what we've got to do. We've got to start surrounding ourselves with people who are not afraid to allow us to rest. Allow us to enjoy life, that encourage us to enjoy life. Find you some friends that say, hey, I want to take you out to lunch today. I want to take you out to dinner. What you doing when you get home? Let's just go out today. Yeah, let's go to the movies. You want to find people that you ain't always given, that they know how to invest back into you. Oh, my goodness. Surround yourself with positive people, people that aren't always bringing you rumors and gossip. Because I know when this broadcast is over, and probably already in the broadcast, somebody's texting you or calling you, child, let me tell you. Child, let me tell you. Child. And sometimes you need to say, you know what? I don't have the space for that. Or better yet, you don't want to be rude. I get it. Say, hey, let me call you back. I was right in the middle of something. Girl, what you doing? Man, Doc, what you doing? Man, I'm resting. I'm focusing. I'm meditating on something right now. I'm trying to get myself together. So I'll call you back later. All right, then. All right. That's right. Shut it right on down. Because I'm in the process of making sure I'm okay. I'm in the process of making sure that I don't have a breakdown. That's what I am in the process of doing. And if you can't appreciate that, then you are not a part of my life to the full crowd. Nope. You are not a part of that. Period. And so, yeah. You got to understand exactly the choices that you make is what Jesus was talking about in John 10:10 B clause. Might. I come that you may have life. That may, yes, or might there in some translations means it's up to you. This is not going to happen because I want it to happen. Because if that's the case, there'd be no stressed out folks in the world. Because he says, my peace I give to you. Now, whether you take it or not is a totally different situation. It's a totally different choice you got to make. You got to make that choice on what kind of life I want to have. And I don't know about you, Culture Call, but if you like me any kind of way, I want the God kind of life. I want to live my life to the fullest. I'm going to give myself a chance. I did not live. Right now, I'm 52. I ain't lived all these years just to be stressed out the rest of my life. Absolutely not. Right? I'm making a decision. If you're giving out abundant life, guess what? I'm making a decision to have it to the full. Listen, this is yours truly, L. Spencer Smith, right here on the Culture Call. That's right, Praise 93.3 FM, your inspiration station. I need you to keep it locked right here. We've got more fabulous show to come. Don't miss it.
This is the world premiere.
And we are back right here on the Culture Call with yours truly, L. Spencer Smith, having an amazing day, talking about giving yourself a chance to experience a life to the full. The life of John 10:10. Yeah. Give yourself a chance to experience that. Make choices and decisions. Yeah, that will definitely cause you to understand and be a part of what he really came to give you. What he came to give you, right? That, we get salvation and then we get the struggling and just toilsome. And I'm like, And when I read the text, when I read the word, it's like, no. There are better things. And so we need to understand always that we have a choice and we have a decision to make as we are making, as we are approaching or trying to attain. That's the better word. Trying to attain this life to the full. Listen, here's what I want to say as we get ready, because I see the runway and my time, I don't know where the time is gone, but here's the deal. Here's the idea. The idea is I'm taught, my church, I've taught other people this whole idea of there's something called the Lectio Divina. And it's something that, how we are to study the word of God and how we are to really get into it, and what really causes how it becomes active in our lives. I think that is so important. Yeah. I think that is so very, very important that we need to understand. But in other words, and so there's a place of preparation, a place to read, a place to meditate, a place to pray. But then there is this last one. The last one is to contemplate. It's a Latin word, not Latin, Italian word, contemplatio. That's what it is, contemplatio. It means to read the text, read the word, read the saying, and sit down in it. To look around it as if it is a reality, like you're sitting down in a room and looking around that word, looking until you trust it, looking until you believe it. It's a way that what is spoken becomes a part of our lives. It reframes and or resets our mind. And part of our decision-making process is really what we contemplate on. That if you sit into discouragement, if you sit in dysfunction too long, if you sit in all those things, guess what? It will become a part of your life, and those things will be making decisions for you, and you won't even know it. That those things will be playing a big part of the decision-making process of your life. That's why you got to watch what people say to you and watch what you ingest and digest in your life. You got to watch the words that you listen to. You got to watch all of that. Culture call, because that's so very important. That you're sitting there listening to gossip. You're, looking at television shows, horror shows that invoke fear or duress. And that's the last thing that you do. And then you wake up in the morning and your mind has been going. So you went to, sleep, but not the level of sleep and rest that you really need for rejuvenation. You've not really gotten there because you've been sitting in all of this stuff. You've been contemplating all this stuff. See, it doesn't just come into your conscious mind, but it also comes into your subconscious mind. Right? And you're sitting in it, and now that's all you're thinking about. You in the middle of the night tossing and turning, thinking about it. Right? Thinking about what they said to you. Thinking about what you saw on the news. Think about, a lot of times they tell us in psychiatry and psychology that when you go to bed, for those of you who like to sleep with your TV on before you go to bed, that turn it on comedy or turn it on something really soft. Turn it on the Hallmark channel. Something that because although your eyes are asleep, are closed, your ears are still listening. Your mind is still processing what it hears. And so that's very important, right? And so if you don't make wise decisions, because what you hear creates your level of faith. Romans 10, faith come by what? Hearing by what? The word of God, right? And so here's the principle. That's the context, that faith comes by hearing the word of God. But the principle is this, is that whatever I hear or whatever I listen to is the thing that shapes my faith, my belief, is the thing that begins to build the fundamental building blocks of who I am to become. Right? And so that's important. That is important. And if you don't do that, and treat that wisely, right? If you just let anybody say anything or you're a part and parcel because, sometimes we say, oh, that's a messy individual. But the reason why we say that, because they listen to mess. If all you listen to is mess, guess what? Those words frame and shape your life. And you're going to start talking mess, thinking mess, being messy, being a part of things that always cause messy situations to occur. That's how it works. That's the depth. That's why it says, I'll come that you might have life. But if I'm always listening to negativity, I'm always listening to something that creates fear, I'm always listening to something about somebody else, gossip and rumors, if that's the stuff I feed off of, guess what? Guess what? That's the kind of life you will have. And so you got all of this amazing God kind of life on the table. You got all of that on the table, but you leave it there by your choice because I want to be in the in crowd. Okay, all right. Exactly. And so the whole idea that you have to think about is, what do I want to contemplate on? What do I want to sit in? What word? What words do I want to sit in? See, I try to surround myself with positive music, positive words. Yes, I know the news because because I do the show. I have to listen to politics. I've got to listen to all kinds of things. I got to know what's happening in the world. And as a preacher, that makes a good preacher. My granddaddy and my professor said you keep the Bible in one hand and the newspaper or magazine in the other so that you can begin to understand how to use the Bible to address contemporary things. Absolutely. Makes perfect sense to me. But when it comes down for me being at rest and being at peace and calming myself down, hey, I don't always listen to, Noel Jones and T.D. Jakes. They are good. I got them on my iPhone. Sometimes I just ride around listening to the Word of God. Sometimes I just ride around listening to an audiobook. Sometimes I ride around listening to jazz, listening to classical music because I love it all. But at the end and the beginning of the day, I determine what I will contemplate on. Let me say that again. I determine what I contemplate on. You determine that. And you got to start shutting down negativity. Shutting down those things that, yes, you know it, that it's messy. You know it. You got to find out what they call it. You got to find out the tea. You don't have to, listen, stop drinking tea for a minute. And the text in Philippians said it like this: whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are lovely, if there be any virtue or moral or excellent strength, or if there be anything that's praiseworthy, that's going to cause you to praise, cause you to give thanks to God, what does it say? Y'all know what it says. It says, think on these things. See, that's how you connect the word to your life. Think on these things. Right? Meditate. You have to understand what it means to get a word and sit in that thing. Sit there. Peace will I give to you, not as the world give peace. Sit in it until you can see its reality. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. Sit in that, contemplate in that. See, that's how you do it. You got to understand that it's not just one way. And listen, you got to learn, as I said, you got to learn the power of no. The power of no. No, I can't. No, I'm not going to be able to be a part of that. No, I ain't coming. No, I don't want to. Nope. I don't want to hear that right now. No, I'm not going to be able to do that. I don't mean no harm, But no, I'm not going there with you. Nope. It's a complete sentence, and it doesn't need any explanations. Well, why? I'm not obligated to tell you why I said no. I just don't. That's not the space I'm in. That's not the choice I'm making right now. I am making a choice to live my life to the full. That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. And you got to, and you can't, and you shouldn't feel bad about it. Yeah, you shouldn't feel bad about it. And you need to understand that you don't have to feel bad about saying no to certain people, even sometimes certain family members. No, I'm not going to be able to give you that. Nope. You ain't got to lie and say I ain't got no money. No, I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm just not going to be able to do that. I'm not willing to do that. You don't have to be rude with no. No, you ain't got to do You don't have to do that. No. Just say, hey, no, that's just not what I'm on right now. That's just not where I'm at, where I am. It's not what I want. And if you begin to do that, you're going to begin to see certain things in your bodies change. That tension is going to be relieved. Yeah. Them headaches are going to go somewhere. Right? That you're going to get off the hamster wheel for just a minute. You're going to get out of the rat race for just a moment. And you know what you're going to do? You're going to breathe in this abundant life. This life to the full that God has designed for each of us to have. Definitely, we want to do that. And listen, it may cost you some friends. It may make some people upset. But sometimes that's the cost of peace. That's the cost of not worrying. That's the cost of readjusting your life, is that I may have to lose some folks. I may have to not be at every opportunity or every event. I may not always be in the in crowd or in the know or sipping the tea or whatever y'all call it today. That's just not what you might have to, that escapes me. That don't come before me today. I didn't even know that was going on. And you know what? What you will find, that's a good thing. That you didn't know that was going on. You know what? No protected your peace. No protected your full life. No protected you from being worn down and worn out. From being destroyed, annihilated, rendering your choices and your purpose and your power null and void. Because you're too preoccupied, working, laboring, and in stuff you don't have any business being into. Absolutely. Give yourself a chance to live the full life that God has intended. Listen, Culture Call, I see the runway. Yes, sir. We're about to land this plane, but we got just a little bit more to go. I need you to keep it right here. Praise 93.3 FM, your inspiration station, and we'll be right back. Don't miss it.
World premiere.
Well, beloved, we've had an amazing day. I'm talking about, to say the least. This talk today, I hope and pray that it has been a tremendous blessing to you. I know it has been to me. Listen, I love to share and encourage my community and get you to understand that even as religious and spiritual people, we have an obligation to ourselves to make sure that we're doing our part in being recipients of all of the benefits that God says that he provides. Beyond the social, political, beyond the economic and the historical, beyond all these other things, I think what is important for us is that we have been given a tremendous understanding, a spiritual understanding of who we are and whose we are. And we must always learn that this thing is not hocus pocus. It's not magic. It's not a wish list. That we must be dutiful every day. Every day. How many days did I say? Every. That's right. That we have to do our part in making certain that whatever is supposed to come to us as black folks. We are responsible for doing our part. Just like voting, just like showing up at work, just like, building better family relationships, all of those different kinds of things, making sure that we understand money, investment, and financial priorities and savings and all that. As we do that, there is something also that we have to do as it relates to our protection of our peace, our joy, our minds. And here it is. It's not something you got to search out. It's not something that we got to dig deep in the dirt to find. No, it's right there. We perhaps have never been taught to ascend to that place, to be at that place. That's probably what it is, right? Nobody said anything to us about it, but I'm going to say on the culture call, he says, yes, I've come that you might have life, that you might have it. You might. Like Matty Moss Clark would say, you might, right? That's what I've come to tell you. That might places us in that decision. He says, I'm coming to bring it there. Bring it to your house. It doesn't matter if I bring that gift to your doorstep. If you never open it, you can't ever say that you didn't get it. If I brought you $1 million right now and put it on your doorstep, but you're treating it like it's a regular thing and you throw it in the trash and you lost your $1 million, it's not that I didn't give it to you, is it? No, it's that you didn't do what? Open it. You didn't take care of it. You didn't look at it. You didn't make a choice to investigate, to see what is my part of it. And that's what peace is like. That's what de-stressing yourself is like. That's what it's all about, is that you got to be an active participant in your own life, in your own world. You got to do that. Yeah? And if you don't do that, that's going to be a problem. That's going to be an issue. And you can't, listen, I get it. And you can bind the devil. You can plead the blood all you want to. But at the beginning and the end of the day, you got to do it to yourself. Because a lot of times we're perpetuating cycles and believing certain things that's really not, that's antithetical to what the text says, to what the scriptures really are. And so we've got to make a decision in our own selves to figure out, hey, maybe I need to do this a different way. Maybe this needs to turn out a different way, a different fashion. Yeah. Maybe that the construct of how I'm living my life, the way and the pattern that I'm allowing my life to contemplate things that I shouldn't even be in. I'm in somebody's business right now that I shouldn't even be in. That's right. Absolutely. I am doing things right now that are detrimental to me. And I've got to stop it. I've got to make another decision. The same way Joshua said, choose ye this day, that's what you got to do. Choose ye this day. Do you want that abundant life? Or do you want the A clause? The thief comes to steal, kill, and to destroy. And you got to watch it because the text says that thief comes in anywhere but the door. It comes in through a window, comes in through any kind of opening that you give it. If you give evil thoughts and stressed out thoughts and wicked thoughts and perverted thoughts and fearful thoughts, you give all of that an access point in your life, then you're giving it an opportunity to dwell where it was never designed to be. Culture Call, hear me today. I want you and I to have the best life ever, and it's already been provided. Life to the full, the God kind of life, Zoe. And he says, I've come to give it to you, but you got to receive it. That's what I want for you today. Listen, at the end of every phone call, my grandmama and mama used to say, I love you a bushel, I love you a peck, and I love you a hug around the neck. This has been the award-winning Culture Call right here with yours truly, Bishop L. Spencer Smith of Praise 93.3 FM. Be at peace, do good, love intentionally, and have an amazing rest of your day. Keep it right here. Praise 93.3 WTSK for the best in great gospel music. And I'll catch you all tomorrow. God bless. Peace.